So, right off the bat, I just want to say that this is not a doomer video. I repeat, this is not a doomer video. Team GMS just dropped a fire-ass patch last week, giving us 3 much-needed systems that players have been asking for a long time. But in this video, I do want to go over each of these GMS exclusive systems a little bit, and talk about how Nexon can make them even better. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So first up, we have this trace restoration system that lets us restore boomed items with these points earned from boss missions. The way this works is you can select extra challenges when fighting certain bosses, and once you save up enough points, you just throw your trace into here, and the item comes back without the need of another spare of the item. It's a pretty straightforward system, and in my opinion, it's also the most fair of the 3 systems we'll talk about today. Plus, Nexon has already made some pretty major quality of life changes to some of the missions just 1 week into the patch, which gives me hope that we can maybe see some more quick improvements to the other 2 GMS exclusive systems. So the only other thing I could see Nexon doing to further improve this system is to maybe reduce the amount of points needed to restore a trace. It's not terrible in its current iteration, with an eternal piece being 1750 and a pitched item being 1680. And if my calculations are correct, you can earn up to 123 points each week if you max out each of your missions, with the exception of Lotus, because these 3 points aren't worth it in my opinion if you're soloing Extreme Lotus, and an additional 43 points per month from Black Mage, bringing us to a total of 535 points per month. Divide that into the 1750 needed to restore an eternal piece, and you're looking at about 3 months and some change to restore 1 item, which, like I said, isn't terrible, but I feel like it wouldn't be too game-breaking if we scaled this up so that it would only take about 2 months per trace restoration. But anyway, that's all I've got for this system. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and how you'd like to see Nexon improve this system. Next up, we've got the long-awaited Pitch Pity system, and this is a big one. This is something that players have been asking for a long time, and Nexon has finally delivered. It's another pretty straightforward system to understand. You just collect these pitched whisper crystals and dawn whisper crystals from bosses that drop the pitch boss set and the dawn boss set respectively, and then when you have enough, you just turn them in to get whichever item you want. They guaranteed drop 1 from any boss that gives pitch boss items or dawn boss items, and if you're fighting a boss, say like Lucid, that drops the Dreamy Belt and the Twilight Mark, you'll get 1 of each piece guaranteed. This is the amount of crystals needed for each item: 65 for a dawn boss item, 130 for a pitch boss item excluding TC, 260 for a Saren emblem, and 390 for a Black Mage badge. Seeing as we only get access to 8 pitch crystals per week, you're looking at about 4 months per pitch, 8 months for a Saren emblem, and about a year for the Jenny badge, making the system even more time-gated than the trace restoration system. That being said, I do understand why the Saren emblem and the Jenny badge need to be more time-gated, since they're unboomable, but I would definitely like to see Nexon speed up the rate at which we can get our hands on the boomable pitch items. Similar to what I said about the trace restoration system, I think somewhere around maybe 2 months per pitch would be reasonable. Another way they could go about it if they wanted to go more of the RNG route is give bosses the chance to drop more pitch crystals, with harder versions having a higher chance of dropping more, maybe as many as 3 or even 5 depending on the difficulty. And finally, we've got the core restoration system. This one is the most confusing to me for a few reasons. So how this system works is, while you're farming, these mysterious star spec boxes will drop from mobs that randomly give you either a star spec or a shining star spec, with the shining star specs being significantly rare. These boxes are capped at 10 per day, which makes no sense to me. I thought Team GMS learned their lesson with this, with the Sol Erta and Meso caps that they chose not to port over from Korea. But for some reason they decided to go with the cap direction for this one. In my experience so far, it takes about 30 minutes to an hour to cap out in your boxes each day, and after capping every day since the patch, this is what I have to show for it. You need 200 star specs to revive an item level 200 or less that isn't a dawn or a pitched item. And if you want to revive one of those, you'll need 25 shining star specs for a dawn item and 50 for a pitch. This isn't too crazy in my opinion, but I would still definitely like to see Nexon remove the daily cap on the star spec boxes so that players who farm a lot can get more out of the system. Other than that, just some small things for the core restoration system. If they do end up removing the daily cap for boxes, you could actually just remove the boxes altogether and have the star specs drop directly from mobs, saving players the trouble of having to individually double-click the boxes to open them. And regardless of whether they remove the cap or not, I'd also do away with the Star Core, the Dawn Star Core, and the Pitch Star Core items, since all they really do is add an extra step to the process. You could still require the same amount of star specs to revive each item without the need for crafting the star cores. But anyway, that's all I've got to say on these new GMS exclusive systems. Again, the purpose of this video is not to shit on Nexon or anything like that, but in my opinion, it's never too early to start putting ideas out there for improvement, in case Inkwell happens to be watching. Feel free to leave any thoughts or ideas you have in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.